In a region long defined by alliances, deterrence, and dependency, the arrival of Pakistan Air Force aircraft in Saudi Arabia marks a moment that many analysts see as quietly significant. It is not a declaration nor a confrontation, but a signal, one that reflects the shifting balance of security in the Gulf at a time of rising tension with Iran. The aircraft landed along Saudi Arabia's eastern coastline at a time when Pakistan was simultaneously engaged in mediation efforts between Iran and the United States. This overlap between diplomacy and defense is not accidental. It represents a dual-track approach where Pakistan positions itself not only as a negotiator, but also as a stabilizing military partner. According to analysts, the deployment is defensive in nature, yet its implications reach far beyond immediate protection. By placing its aircraft within Saudi territory, Pakistan introduces a new variable into any potential escalation. Any strike on Saudi infrastructure now carries an additional layer of risk, as it could involve assets belonging to a country actively engaged in mediation. In this way, deterrence is reinforced not through escalation, but through strategic presence. The Pakistani contingent, stationed at King Abdulaziz Air Base under a joint defense agreement, also carries a message directed beyond the region. For decades, Gulf security has relied heavily on the presence of American forces. Yet repeated attacks on critical oil infrastructure have exposed vulnerabilities that existing arrangements have not fully prevented. The arrival of a new military partner suggests that alternatives are being considered. Across Gulf capitals, this move is being interpreted as part of a broader reassessment. The long-standing reliance on a single external security umbrella may no longer be seen as sufficient in an increasingly complex and unpredictable environment. Instead, a more diversified approach is beginning to emerge, where regional and external partnerships coexist. For Saudi Arabia, the presence of the Pakistan Air Force provides immediate reassurance. In recent years, Iranian-linked threats and attacks on oil facilities have underscored the fragility of energy infrastructure. With Pakistani aircraft now integrated into the defensive landscape, any adversary must account for a more layered and coordinated response. This evolving role is reflected in Pakistan's capabilities. Its air force operates a diverse fleet, including F-16s, JF-17s, and airborne early warning systems, enabling it to participate in complex joint operations. Open-source flight tracking data first indicated the movement of transport and refueling aircraft, followed by confirmation from Saudi officials that fighter and support units had arrived to enhance joint readiness. Reports of Pakistani aircraft escorting delegations during sensitive diplomatic engagements further illustrate this unique position. It is a rare alignment, where the same actor contributes to both negotiation and protection, blurring the traditional boundaries between diplomacy and defense. Experts note that the mission's immediate focus is clear: the protection of oil fields and critical infrastructure, alongside coordinated patrols and exercises with the Royal Saudi Air Force. But its broader significance lies in the model it presents. A partnership that combines military cooperation with diplomatic engagement may become increasingly relevant as regional powers seek greater autonomy in securing their interests. At the same time, tensions in the region continue to escalate. The ongoing confrontation involving Iran, the United States, and Israel, particularly around maritime routes, has exposed the vulnerability of global energy flows. The Strait of Hormuz remains a critical choke point, and any disruption carries global consequences. In response to concerns over Iranian actions, the United States has maintained a strong naval presence in the region. More than a dozen warships are reportedly positioned across the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, forming part of a broader effort to ensure freedom of navigation and apply pressure on Iran. This maritime posture reflects Washington's continued commitment to safeguarding key shipping routes. However, this approach is not without risk. Saudi Arabia has reportedly urged the United States to reconsider measures such as naval blockades on Iranian shipping, warning that increased pressure could provoke wider retaliation. The concern is not limited to the Strait of Hormuz. Attention is increasingly turning to the Bab al-Mandeb, a vital gateway linking the Red Sea to global trade routes. For Saudi Arabia, This route has become especially important as an alternative pathway for oil exports. Any disruption there could compound the impact of instability in Hormuz, creating a dual crisis that threatens both supply and economic stability. Iranian warnings, including statements emphasizing the strategic importance of the Red Sea corridor, have reinforced these concerns. The possibility that Iran could leverage allied groups to disrupt maritime traffic adds another layer of uncertainty. In such a scenario, the interconnected nature of regional waterways becomes clear. A crisis in one choke point can quickly extend to another, amplifying its global impact. Amid these pressures, the Gulf states are increasingly focused on resilience, both in terms of security and infrastructure. One example of this shift is the growing strategic importance of Gwadar port in Pakistan. Positioned along the Arabian Sea, outside the immediate risk zone of the Strait of Hormuz, Gwadar is being developed as an alternative hub for trade and energy transit. Saudi Arabia's planned investment in a major refinery and storage complex in Gwadar reflects this long-term thinking. With an expected capacity of up to 400,000 barrels per day, the project aims to strengthen energy cooperation while offering new logistical pathways. Supported by partnerships between Saudi and Pakistani firms, it also aligns with broader regional initiatives such as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Gwadar's appeal lies in its location and connectivity. It provides access to routes that bypass the most volatile choke points, offering a degree of flexibility in times of crisis. While it cannot replace the full hajm of traffic that moves through Hormuz, it serves as a complementary option, one that reduces exposure to disruption. This combination of military cooperation, diplomatic engagement, and infrastructure development points to a larger transformation. The Gulf is not abandoning its existing alliances, but it is adapting. The emergence of new partnerships, such as that between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, reflects a desire for greater balance and resilience in an uncertain world. In this evolving landscape, Pakistan's role stands out. Acting as both mediator and security partner, it embodies a model that blends influence with capability. For many in the region, this dual role signals a future where stability is not guaranteed by a single power, but sustained through a network of relationships. As tensions persist and global attention shifts between competing crises, the underlying reality remains unchanged. The security of the Gulf and the energy routes that pass through it continues to shape the global economy. And in that equation, even the quiet arrival of a few aircraft can carry profound meaning.